Hey guys, what's going on? It's Josh here with Take 'em TV. Today we're just going to be doing a little bit of some digging, actually. About a year and a half ago, I buried a deer head out here, and I want to test it, or I wanted to test the myth of does burying your deer head work. So today, I'm just going to go ahead, dig it up. We're going to check it out. If it looks good, we're going to go ahead, clean it up, get it all bleached, and I'll show you guys the bleaching process that I use. Super simple. Alright, so right here you can kind of see the deer head. That's my marker stick on where it was buried. But you can't even tell that it's here, which is a good thing. So it's all completely buried. So, right there, you can see the antlers starting to peek through. It is a little stained from all the dirt and everything, but I just wanted to show you guys. It's about 10 inches down in this hole, but I'm going to go ahead and keep digging her out. Alright, well, there it is. Jawbone came off. But I buried this thing with the whole hide and everything. And it looks like all what really broke was his nose. Now I could have done that, but it happens. But right here, I just want to give you guys a good look at it before I start cleaning it up and everything, bleaching it. As you can tell, it's super brown, super stained from being down in the dirt. But I'm going to go ahead, get this washed up, and then we can start on the bleaching process. Alright, so I just wanted to do one more good overview on this before I go ahead and wash it up. I mean, this thing is filthy. It does feel a little brittle up on the nose, and that could have been me digging. I could have broke something. But overall, I am super happy with how this got cleaned up from just leaving it down in the dirt for a whole year. Now, I know some people don't like to bury the antlers because, yes, it'll bleach the antlers a different color. But on this deer, I didn't really mind. You know, this was just, I needed to get this deer out of the area. It was kind of causing a lot of competition with some of the bigger deer at one of my private places. And so I went ahead and took him out 2 years ago. But overall, I'm super happy with how the bugs and everything have eaten this off. I just want to state again, I buried this deer head full, like, it was half, almost, I'd say probably good 10 inches of the neck. Full hide, full everything, and that's kind of why I left it there for as long as I did, because I wanted all the bugs to eat everything. But I am super happy with how well that cleaned up. Alright, so I just want to apologize. There's somebody next to me washing off their car, but as you guys can tell, they got cleaned up pretty well by burying this deer head. Honestly, it really impressed me, burying it with the hide and everything, how clean this skull came out. So now what we're gonna go do is we're actually gonna go home. We're gonna bleach this skull right here, and from there we can really see how well this whole thing works. But all right, so we just got back from washing up the deer skull. Got rid of most of the dirt that we could get off surface-wise. If there's a little bit in there, it's not gonna hurt it. But for what we are gonna use to bleach this skull, or what we are going to attempt to do, I know this process that I'm deciding to go takes a little bit, but I'm perfectly okay with that. But we are actually going to put it in hydrogen peroxide. Now this specific hydrogen peroxide is a 3% true hydrogen peroxide, which is okay. I mean, it's just gonna work slower on bleaching the brown out of this. So basically what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna mix this and water 50-50, and you're just gonna put the deer skull in. Now I do want to go ahead and prep the deer skull just a little bit, and what I mean by prep it is I'm going to take some saran wrap or plastic wrap, and I'm going to wrap it around the base, and probably go up a little bit just to kind of protect the antlers, and then from there I will also electrical tape around the base, and I'll show you guys that all right now. So this is just some plastic wrap that I have. But basically what we are gonna want to do is get it nice and tight around the base right there. I mean, you don't need to do anything crazy, but you just want to get it tight around the base. Essentially what you're trying to do is seal the base from the hydrogen peroxide. If the hydrogen peroxide gets on your antlers, all what it's going to do is it's going to bleach the color out of them. It's not going to hurt them, it's not going to ruin them, it's just going to take the color away from the antlers. So by wrapping them up with this plastic wrap, you're just giving it a less opportunity to get in there. So, and I'm not going to go all the way up, I'm just going to go about halfway on these guys. That should be all what we need to do. But so you can kind of see, I just have it wrapped up pretty well. I tried to get underneath the best that I could, and then we will actually take electrical tape. If we can get this going. Like I said, we are just going to want to wrap. Try and get this ready for you. Right there. We are just going to want to wrap that around the bottom. This, you know, we are going to want as close as we can down on the crown. One, like, good wrap, pull tight, and then what I'll do is just to kind of hold the plastic wrap in place from coming down during this whole thing, is just wrap up a couple times, and that right there is how I like to do it. So this will just hold the plastic there, the electrical tapes to give it a good squeeze around the base, so that way no hydrogen peroxide gets in there, or as least as possible. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do this other side, and then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get the solution ready. We're just gonna put her on in. Alright, so there's both sides wrapped up, just about halfway up on each antler. You know, I'm really worried about the base. So now what we are going to do is this is a 1 gallon, 1.3 gallon bucket. It's actually my minnow live well. I just took out all the insides. It's not going to hurt any minnows the next time I go to use it. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to dump in my hydrogen peroxide, and I'm going to try and balance that out 50-50 with water. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to check and see how well the skull is covered, because putting the skull in is going to displace. Now I really want to show you guys this. right here. So see the bubbles going? That is the hydrogen peroxide going to work. It is already eating away. It's already doing everything, you know, it needs to be doing. So we know that this process is currently working. You can see how quickly that water is getting very, very dirty. Okay, so last time I checked in with you guys, it was about 30 minutes after I went ahead and put the deer head in the hydrogen peroxide and water solution. Now, in the beginning, it was working great. It was taking off a lot of the stuff. But today is 5 days later, and I just want to show you guys the overall whiteness that we currently have on this head. As you can tell, you know, it's still pretty brown in some places, and being in that hydrogen peroxide solution is starting to eat away a little bit at the skull. But as you can tell, like, it is still pretty brown. Overall, it worked okay. I'm not going to say it worked great, but I think if your skull wasn't so brown like mine was, you know, it probably would have worked a lot better. But if this is, you know, a product that you guys would be happy with, go ahead, use that hydrogen peroxide solution. I'm going to use a little bit of a different solution today and see how much whiter I can get this. Now, this new solution is going to be a lot stronger. It's going to have more bleaching power into it, and what I'm actually going to use is this Sonic Care Volumizer. It's for like women's hair. It's a hair product. It's a bleaching product. This stuff is going to be way more, I think it's like 5 or 6% more hydrogen peroxide in this bottle than hydrogen peroxide. So, you know, be careful while you guys are using this. Maybe wear gloves, you know. It's really up to you, but I am going to go ahead, mix it up with the water just a little bit. But this stuff should work pretty fast. From all the other research that I've done, this stuff should work really well. Okay, well, it is about 4 hours later, and I went ahead and I pulled the head out of the solution just because I could tell that it was starting to eat away at the bone quite a bit, and it's probably my fault because I let it sit in the hydrogen peroxide solution for about 5 days. You shouldn't go above 24 hours with it before taking it out, washing it off, giving it a break. Overall, the head turned out pretty well, if I do say so myself. I mean, it's pretty white, but there definitely are some areas on it that are still, you know, brown. But I do also think that is because of I left it buried in some very black dirt for a couple years. But overall, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. It's not brown like it was anymore, and you guys can see, I mean, this is pretty much what we started out as, and this is our end product. So overall, I mean, it did whiten it pretty much. Yes, Lincoln, we know, it's okay. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the process and how it came out. I'm definitely going to be trying some other solutions or some other ways, hopefully this coming year. But I'm also excited to get this guy up on my wall here in a couple days. So I ordered a hanger kit off Amazon. It just seemed to be the easiest way to hang them up. But overall, I would say I am pretty excited on the final product of this head. I think it looks really well for what I ended up doing. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'll let it dry for a couple days and then go from there. So Alright, so I just want to say thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys have any questions over the bleaching process or any questions about any of the products that I used, or if you guys have any suggestions on some products that I should use instead, please leave them down in the comments. With that being said, I will see you frickin' later. Peace.